If you speak to any journalist, I don't think they'll ever say that, oh, Sonam Kapoor called me up, or to say that, okay, this one has done this, or can you write about me in this way? I will never do that.
You also said that I'm trying to be more diplomatic.
Yes, no, it's not about diplomatic, doesn't mean lying. I've made it a policy, like I don't talk about things that are harmful to anybody else. Honestly, like as an actor, I'm not saving the world in any way, right? Everybody has this fashion icon tag given to me, but what use is that? I might as well use it for a good cause, right?
You know, while I was just coming for this interview, I was just reading a few of your articles and your interviews and all. The general perception is that your interviews are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, you've also said somewhere that they all want a headline from me.
Yeah.
Okay. And many a times your interviews, they're filled with juicy bites and statements.
I don't really
which
try
turn out
hard.
to be
I don't
exactly.
try hard to do that. Honestly, it's like I don't know what happens.
And there's several controversies which start doing that.
You know, but the thing is, I've been really careful like the past 2 years not to get into any of those like situations because like for example, if I do an interview with you, because you're an honest journalist, I know that it's not going to be misinterpreted in any way. It's also on videotape.
Many times voiceover is put and something is said in another context and it's presented in another context.
With the background music.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, which I haven't seen in a lot of like reputed websites, but a lot of channels and a lot of
they tend to do it all the time.
They tend to do it. Obviously, because there are so many newspapers, they have to sell their papers and a lot of things get lost in translation. So if I mean to say something in a certain way, it never comes out that way. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I don't blame anybody but myself because I've put myself in that situation. I think I need to be smarter about it because I was too trusting. I'm like too trusting because I tend to believe the best in people. And I tend to believe that as journalists and as media people, you have to be honest about what you're putting out there. I have a great relationship with the media and I want to keep it that way. But at the same time, I've decided that I will do media bites with maybe someone like you or someone who I kind of trust, who I know is going to be very honest about what they're putting out there. Whether I say it or not, it's not going to be edited in a different way and put out there. So I've been like being very selective about who I'm talking to and who I'm speaking to because I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be an honest, you know, point of view.
You also said that I'm trying to be more diplomatic.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not about diplomatic, it doesn't mean lying. I'm never going to lie about certain things. But at the same time, I'm not going to say something that, see, I always, like recently, I think like a couple of months back, there was a completely made up interview that came. But because which I never gave that interview. And usually when I say something, I'm always somebody who stands by what I've said. I never say that, okay, I haven't said this.
That was like where you said about Katrina or something.
Yeah, something similar, not about her. But there was other things. I always stand by what I've said. I always say certain things and I'm like, okay, I either stand by it or if I feel like later on in hindsight, if I said something wrong, then I apologize for it. But this time I never said any of that stuff. You know, it was a very leading publication that it came out in, like a leading magazine. Which I don't want to.
I've read that article.
Yeah, and I was like, I never gave that interview. But because people are used to me saying certain things, a lot of people thought I had given that interview. So I was like, I will never back down from what I've said, but that's not something, so people take advantage of it, like unfairly. So I was like, I might as well not put myself in that position anymore because people are not honest. Like every industry, whether it's the film industry, whether it's the media, or whether it's any industry, comes with the good and the bad. And I need to understand who those people are.
I've spoken to Rani Mukherjee. She said that few journalists had told her that we get this information about you from people from within your own fraternity as well. Many a times, even people from within Bollywood, they tend to just dole out gossip and that kind of stuff. I've spoken to Priyanka Chopra recently, and she said the same thing, that that sort of stuff happens definitely. While you're working with people around you, somewhere do you feel that even that is something which needs to be guarded at times? Many a times we see stories about you, but you tend to remain chilled out and you tend to remain happy and all that stuff, which is I think very positive. Which is I think very, very positive in fact. And because people want to get reaction, and when they don't get it somewhere, then they feel even more threatened that yaar hum jo chahte the wo hua nahi.
Yeah.
Somewhere you feel that people around you, maybe within the film industry as well, jealousy is a big factor that works.
Well, you know, honestly, like I remember there's something that came out, like you were talking about Priyanka and me having some kind of something. So because I know PC and she's on my BBM, I BBM'd her immediately. PC, this is What's out? Do you want to clarify it? So we automatically, both of us went together and clarified on Twitter. So I think the best thing to do is actually talk to that person, like who writing about you or something like that. And there's a lot of people who kind of feel like, I never believing in stepping on other people's toes to actually, prop myself up. So I don't think, if you speak to any journalist, I don't think they'll ever say that, oh, Sonam Kapoor called me up, or to say that, okay, this one has done this, or can you write about me in this way? I will never do that. You know what I mean? I don't.
Especially you coming from a film family yourself.
Yeah, I just think it's not necessary, because you will be written about whether you want to be written about or not. So I don't think it's so important to self-promote so much. I think it's, first of all, it's overexposure. Then people stop talking about your films. They talk about, so I've made it a policy, like I don't talk about things that are harmful to anybody else anymore. Like I will never call up and gossip, because I think it's unnecessary to do that.
You have a huge number of fans, and how do you react to unconditional love that you get from people whom you've never met and you've never maybe won't be meeting or talking to even in life, and they have that unconditional feeling for you?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to give back in a lot of ways, because in terms of I want to do a lot of social work. I've been trying to do that, whether it's like doing something for cancer awareness, whether it's for like girl child education, whether it's like doing a helmet drive for asking women to wear helmets. And I really want to do things for women in India, and I want to do something for education. And so I might not be able to show it individually to people, but because I think in the 5 years that I've been in this industry, and for the 27 years that I've been alive in this world, I think I've been really, honestly, really very blessed. Like I've got a great family. I've got great friends, and the industry has been so loving and so nice to me. So I feel like I need to give back somewhere. So I think like a year and a half ago, I started feeling guilty that I'm just taking, and I'm not giving. And I feel as a person who is on a certain platform, to be able to do something, even if like I like influence 3 people in some way, I think I need to do something more. So to help anybody, I want to create awareness about like educating our country, or educating anybody anywhere about creating awareness for illnesses, whether it's cancer, whether it's AIDS, whether it's anything, whether it's about as simple and as inconsequential, not inconsequential, you can save lives, as wearing a helmet on a motorbike. I think if I have a voice and if I have a platform, I want to use it somehow or the other and give back. So for my fans, or for the people who enjoy watching my films or watching me anyhow, anyway, I think this is the best way that I can connect with them and interact with them, or is to say that do something that is benefiting you.
And definitely, and it's been seen that if you have a purpose in life which is apart from your ambitions, then even your ambitions benefit from that somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, and also honestly, like as an actor, I'm not saving the world in any way, right? Besides entertaining someone. Like I said, like before this we spoke about the charity that I'm doing for, like everybody has this fashion icon tag given to me, but what use is that? What use is that?
Absolutely.
So I might as well use it for a good cause, right? I might as well use that to my advantage and be like, because you like seeing the clothes that I wear and I love wearing those clothes, maybe I can use it and help people in some way. So maybe I can use my celebrity status to help people in some way, So I don't want to be selfish about it anymore. And I've learned that in a year, past last 2 years, actually. It's been last 2 years that I've learned about it.
Thank you very much, Sonam.
Thank you so
lovely
much.
to have you back on Bollywood Hungama, and looking forward to Ranjana and Bhag Milka Bhag and Khoobsurat as well.
Everything's going to release next year.
Yeah, and I think continue is doing the good work that you're doing.
Yeah, and you have to support us in this charity.
Absolutely.
Support us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything for a good cause, anything which is honest, for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's all we're from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.